quorum tonight. Will we decide to change dates again to try to frustrate everybody and put them out of the meeting? Nobody would ever do that, would they?
That's not right.
I just hope they quit talking into the table so you can actually hear them.
Yeah, they have a hard time with that. We're sitting in the middle. Yes. I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah. You're old enough to understand this, and I mean no offense by that, but we should one hand and if you mumble into the table, then, you know, nobody can say, hey, that's not what you said.
It's been nice weather the last couple of days, huh?
Yeah, I have no complaints.
I'm not a fan of hot weather, so this is really nice.
It's a little easier on the budget, not having to run the AC either.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, it was starting to write it down.
Good power to you for not doing hair.
It's a 7.
And then every month when they get their electric bill and they're cussing and screaming. Like, yeah. It's like, folks, we live in the middle of like 7 or 8 lakes. Open the doors and a small fan for you to breathe, you know?
Hey, Dee, how are you?
Well, how are you? Hi, Susan. I just saw you in Naples, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, we're checking out.
yeah. I hope you were behind the line.
Oh, I was way behind you.
Oh, that's good. I'm going and I'm looking and see. That's the worst of my
That's true.
I hear that.
It was good fun. Okay.
Are you going to the commission meeting
I'm
first?
seeing this one.
Long as.
Barring mistake or accident?
And the creek rising. Yep.
And so what is that you're saying?
I could. Whoops. And I'm moving the table.
Hello, Dee.
How are you? I'm good, thank you. What's happening with you, Karen?
Oh, not much.
You said every day?
As much as possible.
Okay.
I did not today because my dad told me he found a dryer that was perfect to replace my dryer, so.
Oh, that's good.
So that's a problem I've had for like 2 years, so
You
can take a day off to.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they would, and I talked to the landlord about it a while back.
one
They
thing?
didn't, and wow. Listen, they never raise the rent, so I can
So
complain
you're not
about
paying
other
much,
things.
yeah.
This was an easy one.
Rock and roller.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you get what you want.
And especially because a lot of them were the ones on the lot.
What do you mean?
The fact that, you know,
I do those tablets and,
I had these carried to church. We have a bunch of places around the village that own some places around.
maybe a bunch of water ones.
What most of the time now, but this time is like on demand. In general, they're good. You know, if I complain, they will fix it. You know,
This one hotel in particular, one of the.
he does try to be nice.
I want to make sure that.
Cool shirt. Like a t-shirt, it's got pockets different.
So yes.
Well, I have to.
And I wash. lights, because I put lights all over my house for the fall. Yeah, so I plugged in several strands and half of them were dead.
Sometimes when it's just one hole.
Well, that's it, yeah, I thought, okay, it's just one hole, that's okay, turn out the rest of the strand.
Yeah.
Not. Then I did another strand.
It's only 23 years old.
There you go. But, you know,
Just, you can't change this.
they don't,
What?
You can't change this.
they don't last, they,
This is what,
so.
when we start to do this.
Oh.
And,
You'll see, you'll get, you'll
no,
try to
it's
get
one of
back
those
there.
things that would say, oh,
He was, yeah, he
County
was chair.
commissioner?
Yeah,
Oh.
he was chair of the county commission.
I think so.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, and that's.
So.
Yeah. When I edited the video together, it sound.
No, Kelly makes it look this way. Because her meetings will get out about 4.
Okay.
She'll be here.
You were able to get this one for everybody?
Yep. You know who Dave Haber is? He's from so he was the county commissioner and supervisor.
How are you today?
Oh,
Well,
okay.
thank
He used to
you.
ride his motorcycle.
Yeah.
That. And I really that.
Yeah, but he's still a little different.
Maybe not towards the end.
Yeah.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think.
You got the squeaky.
Yeah, the squeakiest one. Do. Start the meeting and then we can read over this until Kelly gets here. For Kelly too. Because I wanted to catch you guys up on what you missed, so I want to wait for Kelly.
Sure.
It's not too late.
Never mind.
I'm on board. You guys ready? Yeah, ready to read? meeting at 4 o'clock. Kind of an elusive document to get. Glad you had it, John.
Yeah.
What part did you guys get last time?
Did you bring your whole packet? Is it yours?
This is my own. I have what you have in the way.
Okay.
We're waiting.
Yeah, and we're reading that.
Thank you.
Block my view.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thanks.
I didn't need to do that.
Where did I set?
I promise not to bite or spit at you.
Goodness.
Hi there.
Hey.
You might be zipping in.
We started the meeting, but we were reading the agreement while we read it.
Thank you.
So we're coming back. We don't have to read through the whole thing here during the meeting. I just wanted to wait for you to get here before we started because I wanted to catch you two up on what happened at our last meeting, so then we can start moving forward from there. So this would be a good way to wait for you to go. A good use of our time. Okay, if you want to read what I read every meeting. We are the Lapeer District Library Policy and Bylaw Ad Hoc Committee. The committee will review current library bylaws and policies. This committee serves as an advisory committee only. Any recommendations for changes, additions, or deletions to the current policies and bylaws by this committee will be brought first to the ideal corporate counsel for legal review and then to the full board. This ad hoc committee does not have decision-making authority and will function as an advisory committee. So what we did at the last meeting was just, we kind of went through, just as we did, section by section. Bill and John added anything that they wanted to. We talked about inserting websites where possible, so that there's a link to get to, for instance, the Lapeer District Library Establishment Act, inserting a link, how people can get to that. So we talked about that. John had an idea to possibly add the county clerk as the main swear-in person instead of the townships or the directors. You guys were sworn in by the director, right?
Well, somebody at the library.
Somebody at the library, a notary.
Yeah.
So,
Well, normally you can leave that open because anybody that is like a notary could swear you in, so like, I'm just saying.
Right, we lost our notary here, that's why I suggested that.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, so if you had a family member that was a notary that, you know, because it's something that's honorable, that you would maybe ask them. So I think by just putting the county clerk there, you're kind of boxing that in a little bit.
And I didn't ask.
Yeah. Well, like, you know, you're not asking that person, it's that position.
Right. It's the clerk.
So, right,
Clerk's office.
right, which the clerk's office can do it for anybody.
Yeah,
So, I
and they
mean,
do.
yeah, but there's usually always a charge possibly to somebody for, that might do that, so
I would leave that more generic instead of,
you know, that is definitely an option, but I'm just suggesting I'd leave it open because of that reason. Because sometimes, you know, people have asked for a judge to do it or somebody, you know, because it's somebody special in there. It's a special honor at that point.
so we could suggest adding, just adding the possible places where you could get it done. It doesn't say that it has to be a notary, so that probably should be in there.
Just a notary has that availability to do it. I think, you know, when they go to be sworn in, I think that's when, I don't think you want to get too wordy there. I think that's when they can, you know, do that at that point. I don't think we have to give them suggestions except for if they come to do it, then they would ask at that point, you know, where could I get, sworn in, or sworn in.
Right, we used to have another here.
We don't, and nobody at the office is a notary? I would have thought that, even the assistant.
It's done.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause
Somebody's
Well, think
trying to.
Think about the places, your public they all have,
at the township levels,
at the township,
Yeah.
city.
and the city and the county, so.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are all places that, you know, automatically already have somebody on staff that would be able to do it, but somebody at the office, I would think, would be good, you know, just because of the documentation that they would have to possibly notarize, I would think it would definitely behoove them to have staff, whether it's, you know, an admin staff or, you know, it doesn't have to be the director necessarily, but at least an admin staff should have their notary.
Well, I always used to have one with us, right? Need
Right
another one
here,
since
also
then,
another.
but at some point we
Okay,
were asking
section
them
one.
about that. It's lost their information.
Okay. And that's easy enough to get, it's not very,
You're an overreader.
I am
Just leave it
That's
alone.
for about 35 years.
I agree to leave it as it is.
Yeah, I think we should just leave it as it is without adding any, I mean, that would be my suggestion.
That's fine.
What came up because there was, some townships automatically send over the information. My township didn't. Because other directors would call and say, you know, knowing the appointment was coming, like, who did you appoint, can you send over there? Yeah, right.
Well, normally
the person that is the director, that should be, down, because sometimes, I would just say if somebody resigned, they are supposed to resign maybe at the township, but sometimes they might do it in the library. So, that once that becomes vacant, that whoever is the director should be still reaching out to that municipality.
Yeah, that would,
To find out who,
I would think so.
that next appointee is.
It just didn't happen in my case.
Yeah.
It might be an isolated incident, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
I want to talk about my case.
No.
We're good with your case.
We talked about recommending a time in section 3, so we're Article 2, section 3. Possibly recommending a time frame to fill a vacancy, like in the event of a sudden vacancy. But we can't really, I think Bill, I think you pointed out, like we can't really dictate what all municipalities do, but we could put in a recommended time frame to fill.
At the end of that thing, it says for the remainder of the unexpired term.
Right, but just saying that how quickly that the board is looking for somebody to fill that spot.
And some municipalities have different, like for a regular appointment, they'll give like I think the county does 60-day notice, we talked about that. And so, that 60 days is a long time if you have a sudden vacancy, so. It was
You could just
recommended
put
that
as soon as as soon as, I don't want to say as soon as possible, but just trying to think of what a good phrase would be. Just the replacement for the remainder of the unexpired term to be filled at the earliest possible.
Convenience.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get.
I don't like that term, but something to that.
I don't think we'll get the commissioners to change the 60-day thing.
Right, that's what I'm just saying, as early as, the municipality is able or available to do it, because it is up to their guidelines. They might have something that supersedes, because it is their person.
Appointment.
And
Right.
if they're deciding not to fill that, that means they're losing that voice for that time, whether it's 30 days, 60 days, or more. I mean, they're losing that community's voice. The one thing that I know I had mentioned was up here if somebody was to be convicted as a felony, glasses back on, that they need to, there should be a time frame that they let the library board or the library staff or the director know, once they've been, if somebody's charged, you can't do anything until they've been, because you're innocent until proven guilty. But to me, it should say within 48 hours of the conviction or something to that they need to make sure, that they're.
Need a board member.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if a board member, I'm just going off of what it has here, but I do believe that there should be a time frame. Because it just says is convicted of a felony, but does that mean you need to tell them right away? Or does that mean you can tell them in 6 months, or do you tell them,
Wait to the sentencing.
Right.
Going to jail.
Well, yeah.
What about at the end of section 3 saying something like all of these situations should be filled as soon as possible? You didn't like that, but in a timely manner. That's not good enough either.
Well, we can work on the actual phrasing, that doesn't have to come within this second, but I do believe, I was just thinking, that once a conviction for a felony comes, that person should be required to alert the director within, 48 hours might be hard if it was on a Friday, but
3 days, and everything has to get.
within
run by
72 hours or something.
To run it by the attorney, so there might be
Right.
reasons why we can't, so we could just leave it for now and figure it out.
Well, we
Figure
can
out
always
the
add it in
timeframe.
there and then,
Right.
have them take a look at it and see.
Okay,
Because like as far as the agreement, I don't care to go over the agreement at all. But I feel that the attorney should look at it to make sure that we
Yes.
want to,
he has this already.
okay, so he's went over it and he's fine with this. Because what this is saying is that whatever the agreements or whatever the acts are, is that the bylaws and that everybody is covered under that. That's the only reason why I brought it up is, because a lot of times things go in there and then it's like, well, nobody knows what that is, but you're saying that you're gonna abide by it.
Right.
And you don't wanna abide by something that you don't
You
actually know what it
haven't,
is.
haven't read, or- yeah.
Right.
So questions that came up, from the last meetings, the previous meetings that we've had, who is our rep to the MMLC, and that's Bill McCourt.
And how was he appointed?
I don't know. I asked the question who it was.
And is that a one and done appointment, or is that an
It says the
annual?
board appoints, so I'm assuming he was appointed by the board. There aren't any, there's no more information in there that says. Probably, until you pick someone
It
else.
says the board appoints an individual to serve at the pleasure of the Lapeer District Library Board as its representative, so. It doesn't say how
Doesn't list any
long the
terms.
term.
And if you keep reading, it says is not a voting member. So he is a voting member.
No, at the
He's not a voting member of the
MMLC, no.
Oh,
He is of the board, just not of
I
that
misread.
cooperative.
I don't know if how long he has been there, so that we can, or how long ago he was appointed. Kara did mention that she just found out that they had the wrong email for Bill, and so she supplied them with the proper email. So I don't know if he's been attending meetings, not attending meetings for that reason. So it's just information that's passed on.
Right.
Another thing,
I would add to that, while we're still talking about that, sorry, because I
That's okay.
had put term in question mark. To me, this should be voted on the same as, officers on an annual basis.
I agree.
yeah, I did have that here, term question mark, I just didn't ask.
Yeah.
So that's.
And there
still
might-
needs to be answered.
Well, it doesn't show in the bylaws that there's a term, so I'm thinking that it's probably not been established, but I just feel that it should coincide with the board appointments as far as,
So that, do we want that to be a committee recommendation? Would that be added?
Yes.
I think so.
and I do think at the very beginning of section 4, where it just says MMLC, that it needs to say at the very beginning, the Eastern Michigan Library Cooperative, and
Right.
then put MMLC in parentheses behind it,
Right.
and not have to wait until it's halfway through the paragraph for that to happen.
So Bill and John, they agreed with everything that we had talked about before. So what I went over with you was just what they had added, that you had, that you weren't here for. The calendar, or the fiscal year is the same as the calendar year. That is January 1st through December 31st. That was another question. that we had come up. Budget is set in October. That was another question that we had.
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Are we on Article 3, page 2?
I had a couple other things
Oh,
as I was kind of going over this. So under number 3, where it's vacancies, I just didn't know, I just put, I know like when I go to the emergency meetings, you know, like they take attendance and you're either absent, excused, or present. Should there be a timeline if somebody like misses so many meetings that it's not like you can't remove them, but to bring it to the attention of that municipality? I mean, do the minutes go to the municipalities, do you know? Do they get sent there?
I don't think so. No, because I go to the township and give my report, and that's the only thing I'm aware of that we did.
Well, just because it's important to me that that municipality, whatever it is, has that voice on the board, and if, you know, a board member is missing it, that it needs to be brought to that, because that municipality might not know that that board member has not been attending.
Most likely.
So I just don't know, you know, if there's something that, you know, we can add in there that, you know, you can't really remove anybody, I'm not saying that, but just as far as that, making sure.
Well, that would really be under vacancy, right? So we put that under,
Notify. Be like a new section. Attendance. More attendance. I don't think it's appropriate to put it under removal, because you can't remove somebody for not showing up.
Right.
The fiduciary obligation. Section 4, Article 3. It talks about absences there. Board members are expected to notify the library director of any expected absence in the meeting as soon as possible. And we had talked about getting rid of the time, and just saying as soon as possible, and ending it there.
Yeah.
Would that be a good spot to put that? To put after so many absences, the chairman of the board will notify the municipality.
I would say the director.
The director would notify the municipality.
I'd say after 3.
Mm-hmm.
After 3.
I would say unexcused,
3 unexcused absences.
you know, because somebody could have unexcused absence, which to me.
And it would be notifying just simply so that they know.
Correct.
Just out of
Just
courtesy.
Right,
Courtesy.
just sending a letter, just to, you know, let them know that, to bring it to their attention that their board members get.
Was there anything else anybody had?
I did, and I'm sorry, because I should have brought this up the last time, and I thought I did, but what actually, and we might have discussed it, what actually is the MMLC plan of service? Because it does say actually plan of service. I mean, we don't have a vote on there, but I just didn't know, because it does say is in compliance
that.
with.
We do have that highlighted, that we talked about that.
Right.
And I think there is a written version. No, I had the written version or on the website. Yep, I apologize, I just overlooked that.
It's on one section, it's section 4 under that MMLC.
Article 2, section.
The budget, we talked about the budget is approved in October and the audit is done in June. That's something else we had talked about too. Anything else?
I'm sorry, I have to ask you, go back on the MMLC thing, because I was finishing writing on what we talked about before that. So what,
You just,
It's in the third sentence where it just says, because it says the board appoints an individual to serve at the pleasure of the Lapeer District Library as representative of the MMLC, and it says in compliance with the MMLC plan of service.
we should know what it is. And if there is a website version of it, then we could insert it there. So I think, whenever possible, inserting links would be very helpful for the public.
Right.
Anyone that's looking at it.
So, or just somebody new, even a new board member, you know, giving them that information or that reference to where to look at it. You know, especially if somebody wants to be that board appointee, to have all the information. So the other one that I had is on section 5. I know we had talked about this as well, as far as I do not think where it says that the library board members may not serve on the front of the library board as doing so can create a conflict of interest. I don't believe if anybody is saying that they're a representative of this library, I think there needs to be a board member as a liaison on any committee or any outreach board. If they're doing it under the umbrella of this library, I feel that there has to be some sort of communication between the board and the library. And I believe from when I looked at these others from the other district libraries, that was something that they also included as well. So I don't see where it's a conflict of interest. I feel that it's.
Other district libraries had board members?
I don't think, some of them mentioned it and others didn't mention anything. If I do, when I had reviewed that section. I just don't think it's a conflict of interest. I think any time that you're representing something as a whole, you know, no different than a township. It's just like the planning commission has somebody from the general board. From the ZBA, somebody on the ZBA is from the planning commission. There's always a representative. And to me, that's to help it to be united as one front, opposed to having any organization or group that might be working not completely with the board, I guess, is my.
Okay. Well, should we first just find out, like ask the attorney why it would be a conflict of interest and take it from there?
Yeah, we can. I don't think it's a conflict of interest at all. If it's supposed to be promoting the library, how could it be a conflict of interest?
Okay, so does the committee recommend that we just get rid of that? that line? That they may not serve? I mean, assuming that the attorney is okay with that.
Because I think it's good, I think that, you know, that the Friends of Library is very, you know, positive. And I like the statement, it says the board encourages the Friends of the Library and advocates and fundraisers endeavors. I think that's very positive. I just don't think that it's a positive for that next sentence to say that I think a board member should be appointed to it. I think that should be added opposed and take off that, and that I think a board member should be appointed to that, Friends of the Library.
I think there was some reason why we said no, but it's been so long since I've had that conversation with, and I don't remember who I had that conversation with, that I don't remember, so I think we should ask the attorney, what do you think?
Instead of should, a board member should, a board member may, that just sounds a little bit
Well,
better to me.
Well, no, I mean, not really, either they should or they shouldn't,
correct.
you know, that's, you know, May is,
My thing is if you're
Whatever
running,
no board member wants to do it.
Say the same thing.
I think we should leave it up to whoever on the board.
that's part of the task. It's no different than a township or, that somebody from that township board will be assigned to the planning commission. It's part of the task when you take that on.
right, it sounds like we really weren't being represented.
Right.
Because, you know, they had the wrong email address for the bill. I don't know that, but I'm guessing that wrong email address, so they got contacted.
I think the current library board members may serve on the Friends of the Library Board and take out the last part of that sentence. That's what I would advocate for. See what the lawyer says.
Yeah, May's really is sloppy.
Right.
You know, you want a legal document, May doesn't really fit. You know, shall means.
Well, it says may not.
Yeah,
Well, that's telling you no.
yeah.
Right.
That's just saying
Yeah.
no.
Saying
The may
it's
is
okay
just-
if they do.
The may is, no, it doesn't, it just says may not, so it says no,
No.
you're not.
But if we say may, it's saying, if somebody on the board wants to,
I don't think it should be a want. I think if you have
we just.
an organization that is, you know, working in another organization's behalf, you need to have that working together.
See what they say
So, yeah,
about
and
verbiage.
nothing we say is the final one, they're all
Exactly.
just suggestions, so we can
Like,
suggest
see what
it
happens.
one way and
I just-
another and see.
It's just like one hand has to know what the other hand is doing, so that there's some, you know.
Does it say anything about anybody that is on the Friends of the Library? Like we have an MMLC person that can report. Does the Friends of the Library
It's on the agenda, I believe.
report?
I think they report at the library.
Quarterly, I think. So, this is probably a good spot to ask the question of you guys, like, so when we get through with the bylaws, should we then submit it to corporate council or wait until our committee is all done? I feel like doing it in, like, once we get done with the bylaws, we'll do that before we move on to the
I would say let's submit it to the attorney, because he might have some suggestions, and then we would have to discuss it.
Yeah, right, but I'm saying like, once we get through, for that one, so you think we should do that right away? And then I'm just trying to.
And then that way we can
minimize-
finalize that, and get that stamp of approval.
Mhm. And then once we have the bylaws done, we'll submit the bylaws instead of waiting till we're all done.
Correct.
With the
And then we'll
policies. Okay,
He's probably gonna have the same amount of time involved in it anyways.
no matter how we do it,
Correct.
okay. And then forgot to tell you these two, I have to be at like 5:20 at the latest. We do have the room until 6, so if you guys wanna continue to meet when I leave, that's fine, but I do have to leave at 5:20.
Okay.
So, however you wanna work it.
You can probably meet till you leave, and then that can be your own meeting.
All right, so are we ready to move on? Okay, so we'd be at Article 4, officers, Section 1.
I would say no change.
Section 2,
Because the annual meeting's in January, correct? The annual meeting's in January, so then the new officers would take in, their term would start.
February, yeah. Section 3, vacancies.
Is that where, we wanted to add about the 3 vacancies though?
That's right.
I'm sorry, can you explain it again?
The more than 3 absences, unexcused absences. I don't know if that really, because that's just talking about vacancies of, an actual,
Office.
office.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I don't know.
I think that's better.
Madam Chair,
So,
Madam
and then we're
Chair,
down to,
could you please get the gentleman to speak up? They're talking into the table, and I don't want to come any closer and be accused of infringing on anybody's space. So I'm sitting back here, but I can't hear half of what they say.
Okay. Can you speak up? Sound good there.
You could meet us halfway and you could come a little closer too.
Or maybe over here. You want? I'm not gonna accuse you. It's fine if you need to move. If you need to move so you can hear, I don't have any problem with that. So Article 5, duties of officers, Section 1.
I think that's fine.
Authorized calls, can't anybody request a special meeting now?
I think it says further on some place that you have 3 board members.
Oh, okay,
That's under special meetings.
all right.
I'm sure you're on the next page.
Because it says, special by the chairperson or upon written request from members under
Okay.
634.
Section 2 looks good to me.
Mm-hmm. Section 3, the secretary.
Okay.
So, as the secretary, I can tell you that I do believe these duties have been delegated to the director.
Oh, yeah?
Because I do not do these. And it also says, it says that same wording somewhere else, unless delegated to the director. So how, as a board, how do we know, like a new board member coming in, how do we know that that has been done? Because,
Did the minutes get sent to you for review?
no,
Okay, they are supposed to be.
right, according to this. But what I'm saying, and then it says, they may be delegated, any of these responsibilities can be delegated to the library director.
Well, that's interesting. So we have a library director.
Right.
So I think should
So,
approve the minutes.
Just as an advisory board though, all we can do is recommend the way it's worded, right? Or
Correct.
the,
So I think, right, because this is just saying that that whoever is the secretary, doesn't matter who it is, that the secretary, which is the person that may delegate any of these responsibilities to the library director. So if that hasn't been done, every month you should be getting the minutes to have them approved before they go to the meeting
so how
for
do we,
review.
how do we reword this then so that,
I don't think you have to, I think the
self-
secretary has that until they relinquish that. So, and if that,
so that's probably something we would just bring up at a full board meeting, saying,
you just need to make sure that we're into the office in the admin,
I
that
would be
you,
in it, okay,
that
I
you
just
just,
wonder why this isn't.
Yeah.
as a secretary, you need to make sure that
Okay.
the minutes are being sent to
And
you.
they've got to be posted after so many hours on the website, so it really needs your approval before they get posted.
Okay.
I mean, they're gonna be unofficial meeting minutes
Right.
until they get approved, but still, those are still. So I like
So as far
the
as the way
wording
it's
because
worded.
that does give you, like, if the secretary was ever sick or that they're still giving somebody a second person that availability to approve the minutes, if need be. But at the end of the day, it is the secretary's responsibility to review the minutes and make any changes. So, me, you and the secretary, you should have been receiving those minutes.
Section 4, treasurer.
The others, the in-house as far as financial should be under policies that are, how they're handling what they're doing, but no, I think under treasurer, I think this is fine.
Because this is just like a description of the duties.
Correct.
Okay. Article 6, meetings. Section 1, regular meetings.
Item as well.
Okay. And leaving alone the August.
Yeah, why is there no August meeting?
I was told it's just a part-time meeting and summer, like there was a lot of absences for members.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of businesses or entities don't have meetings either in July or August.
August
It's a
is the biggest
vacations.
vacation.
So,
Not that I mind.
yeah.
Section 2, annual meeting. Now, when you read that, do you take it to mean that it's only for organizational matters? And nothing else should be on the agenda?
I don't.
No, you have to list what on the agenda, you have to actually list what it is about pertaining to, and you can't, change from that format, from that
Right,
posting.
just the way it's worded, and shall be for such organizational matters. hasn't been required. You guys don't read it that way?
Take that part
It's
out.
not an only thing? No, because it does have to be,
Right.
you have to do that. but, you know.
I don't think it's a only.
Okay. Alright, section 3, special meetings.
Are you currently getting everything at least 3 days before the meeting?
I don't think we've had a special meeting.
No, the agenda. I thought we were on.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
We're on 3.
3. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping to 4.
The agenda is currently being done by Carrie and Kara. And then Carrie sends it to all of us for any additions. Anything.
So will that change when there's a director, or be the director and
No, it's usually who's ever appointed to take like the minutes. That person is the one that usually sends it out.
you just said Carrie and Kara are doing the agenda.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yes, it will be the director.
thank you. Chair.
Should that be specified? With the director? Is it? Is it just understood?
I think it's probably just understood that the director, helps because they are there on the day-to-day, so they would have that information of what meetings should be.
And again, it says by the secretary.
But like, I don't send out my agenda. I do the agenda, but the recording secretary, usually it's called like the recording secretary.
Right, I get it.
So I have a secretary that's on the board, but Tracy's the one, is a recording secretary that sends everything out and does it.
Right. Section 5, order of agenda.
I've already changed that.
Well, it needs to be changed here.
Yeah.
Where did that get placed? I mean, did you guys have a specific?
Oh, I have to pull it out. Pull out the motion.
Here.
I think I have it here.
You can show it.
Oh, there it is.
Here.
Call to order and attendance and then pledge allegiance.
So we would change the order of the agenda according to the motion that was just passed.
So it says call to order, attendance, pledge, you said prayer, then approval.
And it's an opportunity for prayer. And it says by a board member.
I do have mine.
But it is, so this does need to be changed though, because then it says prayer, then it says approval of agenda, approval of the consent agenda, and then public comment. So the public comment is here. I'm gonna take it off from here. And then committee reports. I would just say those two need to be added and then that one needs to be.
So I just made a note to, reorder it according to the motion that's passed.
Correct.
So I'll look at that again.
Yeah.
When it gets typed up, make sure we have it right.
Now, my handwritten says approval of the minutes. Is that in the consent agenda? Approval of the minutes? Yep, minutes. Minutes in there. Okay, so that was just handwritten on mine, so I'm gonna take that off, because that's in the consent.
What about public comment? Still have two,
That what?
still have two public comments?
I think so. That would be more something when we get to the policies. Right now, it's just the order, but I guess it would matter the order. You only want one.
Well, I'm trying to remember, public comment as pertains to the agenda. So does that mean, it doesn't say that, but that's what I'm remembering. But other, maybe not the library board meetings.
That's just what the county has, so the first,
Yeah.
that the first,
Second one.
the first one has to do with anything that's on the agenda, and the second one is just.
How do you guys feel about that as a recommendation?
That's a good idea.
Ours.
That's a good idea. Yes.
I think I'll pay for the county, what's good for us.
Section 6, quorum.
Well, why don't we swap board comments with the second public comments, like the county.
To do the public comment first and then the board comment.
Public comment and
Right,
communication,
right.
and board edit.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense, because if the public is commenting and they want a response from the board, then they don't have the opportunity to do that in the way it is right now. Section 6 for quorum, I don't have
That's fine.
anything to add. You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Section 7, board action.
Good with that.
Okay.
Section 8, expenses.
Yeah, I'm okay with the expenses.
Here I would add section 9, where we talked about the unexcused absences. This would be a good
Okay.
place to put that, the free unexcused absence policy.
Recommended adding a section 9 instead of adding it to, a section 4, that does make more sense, doesn't it?
Yes, so
Right there.
we would add a section 9, where
Right.
the title would be attendance.
And I think that would be good, to have kind of that information known to, I mean, is that something if you guys are having a meeting, are you guys made aware of anybody that has called in to be excused? Because I think that's just something good that, as board, that should be brought up. And
May
shown.
have the meeting or before the meeting.
Well, just that or just so it reflects it in the minutes. So I mean, that's, when we take roll call, then it shows that they're excused or not excused, so whoever.
Yeah, I don't think we do that.
Yeah. So we let them know, because we do that, if somebody is called in, they either let myself or Tracy know, so we know that that's an excused absence for them. And that gets reflected in the minutes that way, opposed to somebody
Okay.
that is, not called in. It just gives a little bit more,
I don't really agree with that it matters what board members were there, and, because we don't really have a policy, we're just saying that
Or what's excused.
we're just saying, I don't really like that.
they do it on all boards.
Do they?
Yep,
Yeah.
that's why that's why you take roll call, and it shows.
Right, so
who's-
you know who's there and who's not, but adding excused or unexcused.
I know we do it, I know the 911 emergency board does it as well. Actually, that goes out in their minutes, it says be present, or, so it shows excused, present, or absence.
Well,
Does ours.
how should specify excused?
That somebody just called in prior to the meeting, just,
Let them know you're not gonna be there.
Right.
Tahiti.
just, yeah.
Okay.
That way, you're not waiting for somebody,
Sure.
that they're having the courtesy to call in to say, I'm not gonna be there today, so, if you were that close to a quorum,
Yeah.
if they call in, I don't have a quorum today, or yes, I
Right.
should
Oh, I
have a
do.
quorum.
Yeah.
So, it's just
Okay.
to me,
Where would we put that?
I think that could be in,
The attendant?
like, an attendance, just that, it could be listed in there.
In the new section 9.
Mm-hmm. Just as long as you were letting, the director or, somebody know that you weren't, even if it was another board member, that board member can say,
How do you want to word that?
This will be reflected in the minutes. Yeah, we need-
when they take the roll call, if they say John Smith, what they say, they can just say he was excused.
I have heard that done in the city meetings, they do that.
You do that.
And then the board members will, vote to excuse it or not.
Oh, I don't think it needs to be a vote,
But
because
I
it has
seen
to
that.
be. If you call in, I think it's, I'm just saying that way they know if they have a quorum, that it's acceptable for them.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
So you're not waiting for somebody to come.
Right. That makes sense.
So our committee is recommending that we list on the minutes not only the absence, but the reason, or whether it's excused
Just
or
that if it-
unexcused.
And you could just put, you could just put excused, so.
Yeah.
And if somebody doesn't call in, you don't have to put not excused, just, as absent. But then behind somebody, you could put that they were excused because they called in. I mean, you'd know.
Ready to move on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Article 7, committees, section 1.
I have no problem.
Something to add?
No, good.
I agree.
Standing committees? Anybody?
I have a little something to say about the finance committee, since I'm on it. A little more, like the invoices. I'd like to see the invoices, not just the check going out. And a listing of, it does list who it's going to. Many times I have to ask what it's for, because I'm new and I don't know. So maybe some of the.
I don't think you need to have it in here, that's just something, like when I ask for, because I asked for that being a trustee, I asked for, the information on that check and all the backup. And you can say, I want to have all the backup information to come to the meeting as well. So that way you have that there on site.
Yep.
So you just need to ask for that. I would just ask for it before the meeting, that you wanna have all of the, not just the check itself, but also all the backup, which would be all the invoices or any email chains or anything.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll be on to section 3.
Section 3 is good.
Yeah, it's good.
Library director, section 1. Good. Yep. Section 2, duties.
I just want to point this out, that they call it the library director, and in the next sentence, it's called the library administrator. Maybe it should be the same name, same title.
Yeah,
That can be confusing. Might think it's two different people, and it's the same person.
well, it covers the library director shall be in charge of the administration.
I realize that.
And
No,
the
but then
library administrator.
I'd say director again and change
Okay.
administrator. A lot of things are redundant and that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
This wasn't, but. I'm okay with the duties.
I'm good with that.
Any recommendations, I should say.
Well, because the budget is in October, so September's good.
And in section 3, attendance at board meetings. Pretty straightforward.
And I'm fine with Article And we're done. So, how are we on time?
What's that?
Good, 5 after 5.
Yeah. Yep. Nothing for amendments either, anybody?
So, the only other things that, and I know I'm gonna kind of back up here, back the bus up. Under Article 3, Section 1, where it does say the DLEA, the District Library Financing Act. I would imagine that the attorney is up on section,
That's section 2.
Section 3,
Or Article
section, Article 3, my sticky note, Article 3, Section 1.
Okay.
And I'm sure that the attorney knows, but just making sure, because they're saying that the library board may exercise any and all of the powers granted by these. I mean, to me, that's something that the library board does need to make sure that they're aware of what all of those are. Again, I would imagine that the attorney is up on all of those, but I would just bring that up to make sure. And then maybe a reference as far as even somebody that is a new board member, given that information.
There's, that can be found online, so we talked.
Should be in the packet, so.
Yeah.
Right.
board members.
These packets
Should be in there.
Yeah. I still think on that section, the DLEA, I know it's in the very front, but I think that should be spelled out, instead of just DLEA. I think that needs to be,
Yeah, so
because it's
that,
the District Library Establishing Act.
right,
I think here it should be spelled out.
well, it is, but it's right after it.
No, that's the
No, that's
financial act.
Finance.
The first one, the
Oh, that's right,
DLEA, is the
yeah.
District Library
Yes, we-
Establishment.
right, and we
Which is
talked
on the
about
front
that.
page.
Yep, it's on the front page, and I have that written down as a recommendation that whenever an acronym is in a different
Section.
article,
Yeah.
that it's spelled out.
Okay.
So, yeah, we had to address that.
So as far as any recommendations, is that something that we're going to type up and put in? I mean, normally what you do is like something that you're suggesting needs to be crossed out, you cross it off, put questions, and anything added in red. Is that what we're doing for the attorney, so he's aware of what we're thinking?
We can, it sounds like a good idea. It's a good idea to do that. Oh, there was another thing too that I thought should be added in the very beginning of the bylaws, is that our meetings are run according to Robert's rules.
Good point. Yeah.
So, that would go like in the very beginning. And then, I'm sorry, what?
under meetings? Or where?
Article 1,
Article 1.
is that where you want it?
Would you guys, I think it should, yeah. I think it should be first, but I guess it doesn't have to be, right? It doesn't wanna. You put it
Section,
under meetings, it does.
Article 1, Section 2 says these bylaws are rules governing the internal affairs of the library, and that the bylaws should be reviewed annually. You can put, before that last statement, the library board will operate using Robert's Rules of Order.
So you want it, Article 1, you want it to be Section 2, and then bylaws and annual review would be Section 3? Is that what you're saying?
No.
No, you just
between
add
the
it to
first and
section
second. See in between the first and second sentence. Correct?
The first
Yes.
sentence, then add the library board holding.
Oh, right in the section, okay. And then, just like we've gone over everything in the bylaws, but if we just have recommendations for something that should be added that isn't listed here, we bring it to the next meeting, and then who wants to do the typing? And should I get a hold of the,
I'll do it. I volunteer to help.
okay, should probably contact the attorney and see how they want it done. Right? We have all of these suggestions and,
Usually that's something, and we can always put, you can put comments on there as well. I mean, I don't mind, I can do the typings, with,
I don't mind either, just we just have to designate somebody.
But I like having what it says currently, the line
Right.
through it.
Right.
And then in
if
red.
it's being, yeah, if you're asking for a
It's being
change.
deleted.
Are you sure you have time to do
It's not that big of a document.
that? Okay. So we are designating Kelly as the tickler.
Well,
No?
yes,
Yes?
yeah.
Okay.
So our next meeting, is that gonna be after the attorney gets back to us, or no, we're just gonna move forward?
I have it scheduled for Monday 3 to 5. So,
And I don't know if I'll have it typed by then,
Right,
you know, to
but-
start on other.
yeah, I don't want to cancel the meeting because I feel like we're really
No,
behind.
we can just
So-
keep
Start on policies.
We can all be there.
Right.
I got a lot of vacations coming up, so all these meetings work.
We gotta get it done. Daughter's getting married.
She
November
is.
20th, yeah.
Nice.
That's-
Congratulations.
So, are you guys good with ending the meeting at 5:12?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll end the meeting at 5:12.
You have signed this. See it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. A bunch of places. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I miss him.
I do too.
Hi. So chairs are not
I know I had my standard, I had seen this once upon a time, it had been a while, since I knew Kevin Davis had signed it. And I talked to the trustee for Elba, for Oregon, and he said, well, Oregon's part of it, and I'm like, no, Oregon's not part of it. He said, I don't know why it was established, you know, that not all the other ones were added as part of it.
entire ad-hoc committee?
I didn't think Oregon was in it.
No, it's in it. There's a.
No, I mean, as far as the group, but not as far as a trustee board number, is what I meant.
Yeah.
But yes, they're in it as far
Yeah.
as under the district, yeah, but not
But there's
just as
other
far
townships too.
right. No, I'm just saying, I don't know how, just the, you know, the ones that did,
Right,
why didn't they all have a possible seat at the table?
Right.
You know, usually you only have so many sitting as a voting member anyways, but most of them, you know.
But Kelly, it's just one table. Library board have acted laterally, and by law, they are trustees of the library, and they have to make the best decision for the library, so they don't serve
I'm
the
not talking,
township or anything like that.
I'm not, that's not what I was talking about though.
But that's
What
why
I-
it doesn't matter where they come from. And, you know, we've got two from Metamora. Because
That's
they-
only county appointment. I'm talking
They're
about
they're made by the county commissioner. But the point is that once they get to the board, they all serve the library and the whole library district. They're not serving constituents like, you know, like.
No, I understand all that. That's not what I
It didn't
was,
sound like you did, I'm sorry.
no, that's not even what I was talking about. So I was talking about something completely different. What I'm saying is that why
I thought 4 was.
Mayfield has an appointee, why does Lapeer have an appointee? Why wouldn't Oregon
City
have
of
a chair?
Right.
I understand
It had to do with what they put in at the beginning. I think there were some established libraries already in certain settings. Am I right?
No.
Susan Beal, do you remember?
No, because Mayfield didn't have one.
She said some. not all.
Right, but I'm just saying Mayfield didn't have one, so if they're, because they're voting and able to have it,
I
that's what
would
I'm saying.
imagine Melissa Malcolm could answer that question for you. She's not here this time, but she'll probably be at another one, and I expect she could answer that directly for you. Having been director, et cetera.
And Jen wants to be on too.
I don't think she was a director at this point, though.
2000, no,
No, I don't think she was director in 2002 when this was established.
yeah, she may not have been, but I think she would understand perhaps the
I think that's explained in the documents for forming a district library. It's kind of aligned out in there. It's been a while since I've read
And
it.
I remember Karen Ricketts knew all of that, but she's moved. She knew who had what, but
And Jen Watts, I believe, was on the board at that
at that
time,
time, so
when
she.
the district library was formed.
I don't think so, not in 2002, I don't think.
Jan Watts.
I didn't think she was at that time. I know Kendra Davis was, I know, and Marlene Bruns, I know both of them. But I don't think Jan Watts was, because she was from Mayfield, so I don't think she was the.
Then the other thing is you're thinking about your friends. The Friends are a 501c3 corporation, so they have their own personnel rules, and that may impact why you don't have the ability.
Yeah, but they're
to
saying
take
it's a
someone.
conflict of interest. To me, to
Well,
have it in here saying it's a conflict of interest, that does not
but it's
constitute a
up to
conflict of
the
interest.
Friends of the Library as a 501c3 to
Remember
determine
that,
who's on the
like, you
board.
don't have public time here. It's
We're not having
discussion.
public time, the meeting is
So you're not
closed,
really
I'm
right.
chatting.
It's just sort of.
If we had public time, I would have.
But I gotta go.
But, you know, it's,
Bye, guys.
chatting is still free speech. They haven't gotten rid of that yet.
I didn't ask someone your name because I really enjoyed your being here today. I was at the last meeting. First, one thing, you speak loudly and clearly, and that helps those of us who are listening.
Yeah, thank you.
So, it was nice to hear.
Thank you. And your name is?
Susan Beal.
Susan Beal.
Past president of the Friends of the Library.
Okay.
Kind of represent our interests.
All right, thank you. Have a good day, Susan.
You too.
Oh, pretty cool, man. It's in the pack.
Yeah, I did see that. I just didn't.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Legal services. So it needs to be more.
Which I understand it, but I just wonder how they. Yeah, they did. They have their own money. Well, I think if you do, you have to create your own library.
You do, because it's in.
It's in there.
Yeah, you can just have those clauses.
Right, exactly. Look it up.
Yeah.
But my view, I just didn't understand. You know, I understand these guys are out. Which
You either want the job and have the schedule to do it, or you
Well,
don't.
because it was a new library, one's a credit.
Right.
Because it covered, Lapeer County, but it couldn't have still covered the whole county.
Right.
Because these guys still had, like, the city, as far as I know, always had their library, right? So. And I don't know.
Yes, I have the same. Yeah.
It's the same way. We're limited to 3 minutes, so you've got to cram everything. And then a board member can filibuster for an hour if they want to.
Right.
Should that just be a simple vote of their board?
I think that would really help how us outsiders are disturbing their meetings.
Well,
If you got a friendly board,
that's what I gotta remember, like that. So there might be ways to it.
Right. They do all. So she's.
Yeah, I hope so. Right, I hope so, but Philadelphia freedom is still a thing, right?
So I never got that.
Elton John there.
Remember the old days when you hard cover
Right.
politician and would complain?
Or, I mean, husbands in high school.
So you just showed all the
Well, that's.
Exactly. Right.
We're in trouble.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Then you learned to sort out stupid conflicts, right? I was.
I haven't used it the last couple of
Your
days.
what?
My knee, I've had 6 knee surgeries and
Oh, no. What do you don't have knee replacement?
I won't, no, hopefully never.
Well, you know what, I got this chiropractor I see.
Uh-huh.
5 minutes of reading people.
But Rosa's the thing, she's like, I just wait here, you're not going up the steps. I had to drag this leg up the steps, not come up the steps.
What's
his name? Dr. Frank.
Frank,
The government took your child.
Is that your winner?
And the government
I
raised your
don't know,
child.
that's probably 10 years ago.
I know, that'd be in here.
She works.
Uh-huh.
I see him once a week for quite a while, then get up once a month. I'm a new man. Yeah, and I've got, still God's work in me.
I used to do really well, but I haven't been taking my turmeric ginger,
Yeah,
and I can tell.
yeah.
I like doing it.
He's come with you.
Is that new?
No, you can always watch my shots out there. I got 2 ankles.
Thank you.
So Kelly, I thought I carried a lot.
I don't know, my recall appointment 6 weeks.